Kaliang persya jongku yang dapat hoain ke jela kaladawa nak sarkar jela bakan mapno ya kebai boarding jongki pai ba ha kapor baka jela ka yakun yo COVID-19. Habara ya kene kapang uameli kamolai ba piti sok miu lu ong baladak sarkar ka map ya kebai boarding kan yerap hadu kata katai pai ba. Henry haba jubab ya kene menteri katanat boarding James K Sangma lu ong ba kamdei satya ka basuk ya sarkar ban map ya kebai boarding. Ha kene ka singi uameli ka umroy ba George Lingdo ulu ong ba bon kimita boarding kim kam hagi nong kendong bat kani kala penlong yaki bikin hap susio kat kum kedor babu da katanat.
In order to reply to start question number 54, sir, in order to ensure monthly serving of bills to the consumers during the lockdown, MEPCL had billed the consumers on average based on 6 months consumption of the last month's bill, as entry into the consumer's premises had been restricted due to the lockdown. When it became possible to take the actual readings, it was observed that there occurred an increase in the bill of the consumers during the period, as the billing period varies from 40 to 90 days. In certain cases where there is discrepancy in terms of high billing, most of the issues have been solved on case-to-case basis, as and when consumers have approached the concerned assistant executive engineers at the end of the lockdown period.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to express my thanks to Honorable Minister that he has given temporary relief for the time of lockdown. But I would like the Minister to, if he can give a permanent solution, especially during lockdown. So my question is there any proposal from the department to waive off the electricity bill during the lockdown, which I've already mentioned here from April to July, sir?
Sir, I appreciate the concerns of the honorable members, sir, from our line. And I can also understand, sir, that during the lockdown period, all of us went through a lot of difficulties, sir, and a lot of people have been affected in terms of their livelihoods. Sir, however, sir, as we all know, the Energy Corporation, that is MECL, is a corporation, sir, and there are many liabilities that need to be taken care of. There are many things like salaries which have to be paid to the employees, sir. So therefore, sir, waiving off of the electricity bills would cause a very big impact on the financial health of the MECL. I'm afraid, sir, that may not be possible, therefore, sir.
So may I know from Honorable Minister in charge of power, now since unlock is started, so may I know from Honorable Minister for the last 6 months, that is from the month of April, May, June, July, August, September, how much revenue was collected by the department?
So that's a question which is I do not have the data for, sir, right now, so I'll require notice for that, sir.
So in the course of reply of the minister, he used the word liability and salary of the department. In case that the government and the department take a tough stand, so to say, to waive off of the electricity bill. So may I know the liability of the department in monthly basis? We understand that according to the statement, from time to time we saw that the power department, MEPDCL, have to pay monthly so much of due to various companies who have supply power to us. So may I know from the Honorable Minister how much due or liability that the department have to pay monthly to various power company who supply power in our state, sir?
So the exact figures I don't have, sir, because liabilities which are due to power gencos, sir, especially central power generating stations, sir. Those figures keep changing monthly wise, but I'll be happy to provide that information to the honorable member, sir. And I would just like to, however, inform the honorable member, he spoke about waiver of the electricity bills. That we will not be able to do, sir. However, we have waived off the DPC, that is the delayed payment charges. So for the period that falls under the lockdown, sir.
Last question.
Yes, sir.
The last one.
Sir, may I know from Honorable Minister, because it is a very serious matter, because we have 11 districts in our state, for the information of the minister. Even the department as a whole knew that some part of the district in the state, they didn't pay electricity bill. That means that revenue, it didn't come according to what it was expected. So regarding this matter, may I know from Honorable Minister, if he is not aware, kindly find out, because we are concerned for the revenue of the department or MECL or MPDL, sir.
The concerns of the honorable member are noted, sir, and we will look into the matter, sir.
Judge Bill, please.
Sir, this experience that many of the consumers, especially in the rural areas, most of the meters are not in a working condition, which leads to the reply that there's an average billing that is being done for all the consumers whose meters are not working. Neither the consumers are aware that the meters are not working, nor there is an intent and an exercise from the MECL side to correct the meters that are not working. This leads to huge bills that are being dumped on the consumers. Now, the Honorable Minister, in the duration of his reply, he said that we're trying, if we waive off the bills, then it'll have a huge impact on the MECL because it cannot garner resources. So does this mean, sir, that consumers can be fleeced and made unaware and at the same time collect all these resources from the unaware consumers and clear the liabilities of the MECL?
Sir, it's not like that, sir, the way that the honorable member put it. Consumers are not being fleeced, sir. However, I do agree to the point which he made regarding the fact that in the rural areas, some of the meters which are read, sometimes it is a practice that average billing is taken up. But the reply which I gave was specifically for the lockdown period, sir. But nonetheless, sir, we understand that there is a challenging phase that we are going through right now, and this is something that is not something that happened right now, sir. This has been going on for a very, very long period of time. We have inherited this kind of problem from the past, sir. However, sir, the government today is seized of the matter. We are seriously looking at how we can improve billing efficiency in the state, sir. And one way of doing that is the introduction of smart meters, sir. And I'm happy to inform the House, sir, that ADB has funded a project through which we'll be able to introduce smart meters, sir. And after the introduction of smart meters, we are very confident that we will be able, if we are able to achieve 100%, which we are confident, sir, that we will be able to achieve 100% billing efficiency.
Sir, I appreciate the reply of the Minister, even though there is no intent, but then it is happening in the field, sir. And it is not only some. Many consumers are being affected because of non-functional meters. And they are I'm a victim of it, sir. That's why I'm talking about this also. I reported to the SDO, and then it took him nearly 5 months to even correct. My bill came to 12,000 per month, my own residence. And we are talking about the lockdown only, sir. We are not talking outside the period of lockdown, because all these anomalies have been dumped on the consumers because of the lockdown. Now, sir, what about the franchisee? In the Umiam revenue division of the MECL, the franchisee did not bill the consumers for the past 1 month or 1 year, and because of that delay, the entire bill came upon the consumers all at once during the lockdown. So what about that? Is any action being taken against the franchisee, sir?
Sir, as I have mentioned in the course of my reply, sir, where there is discrepancy in terms of high billing, sir, most of the issues have been resolved case-to-case basis, and when consumers will approach the concerned assistant executive engineer, sir, at the end of the lockdown period, they can bring these matters to the concerned engineers, and we will resolve these matters. And sir, as I want to just mention again, that this is not a problem, sir, of now, sir. Meters and the average billing that has been taking place, sir, this is a practice which has been going on for a long time, sir. This is what we inherited. But we are very serious about this, and that's why we're introducing smart meters, and we believe that with this introduction of smart meters, this initiative that the government is taking, sir, that we'll be able to resolve the issues of these kind of average billings that have been taking place for so many years, sir.
So I think the Honorable Minister did not listen to my question. Past 1 year, 2019 onward, was dumped on the consumers all at once. What action is being taken against a franchisee? Are there whatever amount that they have to earn from the MECL, is that being looked into? Will that be deducted? Now, we are blaming the poor consumers all the time, sir. What about this franchisee? So the government. And I have been doing it regularly also in duration of my talking with the officers and the consumers. So my next question is, are the consumers allowed to bargain on the energy charges per unit levied by the MECL?
I don't know where that question has come for, sir. That is a very, that question, sir, I think that there is no question of bargaining, sir. I don't know where that question is coming from.
So because just recently in the media, the Barnihat Industries Association had bargained from 6 rupees per unit to 4.5 rupees. So I thought if that is applicable to the consumers also, sir, then we will also tell the people, sir.
So as we all know, sir, the tariff is not set by us, sir, MECL. I think Honorable Member has to do a little bit of homework, sir. The tariff is determined by the Regulatory Commission, that is the MSERC, sir. So I think he should first check on his facts before making such claims, sir.
Sir, if the MSERC allows such bargaining, then we'll go to MSERC, sir. That's what I want a clarity from the minister. If this bargaining goes on, sir, then we will also tell the consumers, I also being a consumer, sir, I'll go and bargain with the MSERC, sir. That's all, sir.
Anyway, sir, this question is going in a completely different tangent, sir, because we were talking about the billing that was taking place during the lockdown. However, sir, just to satisfy the Honorable Member, sir, tariff is revised every year, sir, and there are petitions by consumers, and consumers will, they can petition the MSERC for revision in tariff, sir.
Mameral, please.
Thank you, sir. So during lockdown, there are many villages where the transformer has been broke down. It happened very frequently. And one of the reasons given by the official from MECL is that those villages which the transformer has been break down during lockdown, they have to pay the pending bills. Now there are villages, if you count the whole villages, the total bill comes to 10 lakh, 20 lakh, 30 lakh, it varies. So now if you count 30%, where the MECL told that they have to pay 30% the pending bill, say if it is 12 lakh, it comes to around 3.5 lakh plus minus. The villages have to pay. Then only they will replace the transformer. Now my question is, it is very difficult for the villages, those who have good resources, fine, they can pay. But there are many villages who have lived in the dark during lockdown, where the transformer has failed and broke down. So we want to know from the Honorable Minister whether that 30% can be levied, it can be a route out for the villages, those who cannot pay during lockdown. I'm not talking about pre-lockdown and post-lockdown, because there are villages still now also, they're still living in the dark for 3-4 months. So I would like to know from the Honorable Minister, is there any option for them?
Just to clarify, sir, from the Honourable Member, are you asking me whether those villages who are de-electrified and their transformers were damaged, are they liable to pay their bills for that period of time? Are you asking that?
No, sir. During lockdown, they will be waived off. That is what I meant, sir. Yeah. So that the new transformer can be installed in that villages.
Sir, the matter, I think the larger picture here, sir, is about the transformers and the policy of the corporation in terms of not restoring the damaged transformers or repairing the damaged transformers for those villages where there's a outstanding due and villagers have not paid, for which there was a condition that was laid down that 30%, a minimum of 30% should be paid. So I think I'll talk about the larger picture here, sir. Sir, we are re-examining this, sir, and we feel as a power department, sir, we feel as a government that this condition of paying minimum of 30% needs to be reviewed, sir, and which is why we are re-examining on whether to remove this condition, and I hope that we will be able to remove that. There are a lot of calculations and permutations and combinations that we have to work out, sir, but we are hopeful that we will be able to remove this condition, sir.
One.
Last one, please.
Yeah. So in course of response from the Honorable Minister, we have heard that MECL have started to use smart meters, but I hope that it cannot be at one go for all, not at one. For time being, now one of the reasons the discrepancy of billings and all is that those meter reader on an average, as we have told, on average of 6 months and all. So sometimes it is correct, sometimes it is not correct. So what are the mechanisms taken by the MECL to look into this matter, maybe by appointing more meter readers so that they can go at the ground to see they have first-hand information, the reading of the meter. At the same time, another issue is that the collection of bills. Pre-lockdown or post-lockdown, or mainly during lockdown, where the consumer cannot go to each and every station that have been put. So before this has been a practice that billing this meter reader, they used to go to the villages, or maybe during market day they used to collect. Whether that practice has been still on or not, I want to know from the Honorable Minister, so that this issue of billings, it wouldn't be much pressure for the consumer.
So we are trying to address this issue, sir. There have been certain number of additional employees that have been taken up on contractual basis, sir, to address the shortage in our meter reading staff, sir. And this is not a permanent solution, sir, we believe, because I think the permanent solution will come from the intervention of technology like smart meters. But Honorable Member was mentioning about whether it will be at one go. So we're trying to ensure that the smart meters can be rolled out as soon as possible. Secondly, sir, we have a very ambitious target of having coverage of 100% in the entire state, sir. So I believe that with the intervention of the smart meters, it will really improve the billing. As I said, 100% billing efficiency is something that we plan to achieve from introduction of smart meters. And these are meters which will not just provide us with remote reading of the energy consumption, but also, sir, we will be able to gather analytics as to the kind of usage pattern of consumers. Many other benefits are there, sir. So therefore, sir, I think that I kind of understand the concerns of the Honorable Member, sir, but this is something that we seek the cooperation of the public. We seek the cooperation of the House also, sir, so that we can roll this out. There will be a certain, transitional phase that is there, sir. We expect, things as they are. We're trying to improve them within this short gap of time. But eventually, we foresee, sir, that things will improve, in a much, much better manner, sir.
Long Amperin, please.
Honorable Speaker, sir, I would like to inquire from the Power Minister whether these smart meters are also prepaid meters, or is this a new concept altogether?
So smart meters do have prepaid capabilities, sir.
So what has happened is that the numbers of conflicting bills have become huge for the MEECL payments. And because of the SOP, sir, lines are very long, and a lot of inconvenience is now there for the consumers. My request to the Honourable Minister is to see whether this smart meter will also contain a provision where the meter reader themselves allow consumers to pay in their doorstep, whether that would be possible in the long run.
I'm sorry, Kong, Sir, can I ask Kong Aprin to repeat the last part?
Please.
Whether or not the meter readers in this smart concept of meters would be able to allow consumers to pay at their doorstep, so that consumers don't have to crowd henceforth in payment units.
Sir, the way smart meters work, sir, is that because of the communication link that is maintained with these smart meters, the bills will be read remotely, so number one. Secondly, sir, serving of the bills also will become, very, very easy in terms of, sir, that we will be able to serve their bills on their mobile phones through an SMS or through WhatsApp messages or through emails, sir, whatever the case may be, sir. And thirdly, sir, these smart meters do also have, as I mentioned earlier, prepaid capabilities, sir. So therefore, the role of meter readers will, in a way, sir, become redundant. And we hope that, the system will become so seamless that consumers will face the least possible amount of difficulties in terms of receiving their bills, sir, in terms of making payments to their bills also, sir. So that is what we hope to achieve from this, sir.
Charles Moore, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, in the course of the reply of the Honourable Minister, he had mentioned that the bills which were billed to the consumer were so high that some of them were saying that they were paying 500 rupees a month, but suddenly the bill came to about 12,000. And some cases were brought to my notice also. So if we take the reply by the Honourable Minister, can the consumer then pay a 6 months billing on the average of the previous 6 months? So if it's 500 rupees a month, will come to 3,000. So can they pay that 3,000 and have their connection reinstated? Instead of going to the subdivisional officer or the area manager, and he says, no, I can't do a thing, that's your bill. But if you apply this rule, then at least they still pay their bills on an average of the past 6 months, which is fair. May I know?
Sir, this was, sir, because of the COVID lockdown, sir, and we all understand that there was a lockdown. Meter readers have to physically go and read, so they were not able to go and physically read the meters. But now, sir, lockdown, we are in the phase of unlock, sir, and now we have to go back to the system of reading the meters, the energy consumption, and as per that, billing them, sir. So, sir, going by the average, sir, that system may end up in financial losses for the corporation, sir. So, I really don't see how we will continue with that system, as the honourable members were suggesting.
No, I'm not suggesting that they don't pay their bills. What I'm suggesting is,
On an average.
a family can afford a certain amount of bill every month. He has earmarked that in his budget, which is very meager anyway, in the first place. But out of the blue, he gets a bill of 12,000. Now, they can't pay 12,000. So the engineer says that if you can't pay, then I have to cut your line. So on this, which you have said, an average of 6 months billing of the previous month, say I paid 500 in February. Then during the lockdown of 6 months, I'll pay 500. Subject, so that the meter is not cut. Then once the justification comes out, that either they have consumed more, or the meter was wrong, or let's not go to that point. Let them at least pay that 6 months average and not be subject to the cutting. Then balance areas they'll manage somehow, they'll pay and so on. So there's no loss to anybody.
Sir, I think that is the system which is mentioned here, sir. What honourable member is stating is exactly that what we are trying to do, sir. And these kind of discrepancies which are brought about, it was because of the COVID time, sir, and we all have to be understanding and sympathetic to the matter, sir. And that's why I think that this is the system. No one's meters are being disconnected or something like that. I don't know what if they have information regarding that. Then this can be brought to light, brought to our notice, and we will examine the matter, sir.
See, what I'm trying to suggest, meters have been disconnected. If the department can instruct the area managers that in certain cases where the discrepancy in the increase of the bill is so high, apply this rule. Apply it. And with the rider, that they may have to pay the balance within these few months. So that gives them the flexibility of paying. I'm not saying don't pay. We need to pay the bill so the corporation can run. That's all. So if the area managers are told to do that, I'm sure.
It's a good suggestion, sir.
Yeah.
And we can examine it, sir.
Yeah.
We can examine it.
Thank you.
Mr.
The Speaker, sir, may I know from the Minister why a number of villages which have already paid the 30% or even more than half of the electricity bills, their transformers have not been fixed till date. When I inquired from the officer in charge, they said that they don't have enough transformers to give them. So may I know the real reason from the Honourable Minister, sir?
Sir, I'll be happy if Honourable Member, although it's not pertinent to the principal question, sir, but I'll be happy if the Honourable Member can, probably bring these names of the villages where the damaged DTs have not been replaced, and I will look into the matter, sir.
Mr. Speaker. Last question.
Mr. Speaker, sir, it seems billing is a nightmare for each and every people, not only for the rich, even for the poor also. Now, my question is totally quite different. Now, billing for those villagers who doesn't have a meter also, who doesn't have a light also. I bought these questions a long time back, and I've been following this one. I've got few villages in my constituency. They don't have any electricity at all. Forget about the meter. Forget about the, electricity connection or the new kind of, way of billing system. They don't have the electricity at all, but yet they get the bill. Huh? I've got few areas, Badupara, under Gambigri block, 2-3 areas, near in and around, and under Dalu block also 2-3 areas. So they are still getting the bill. In Mibonpara area, without electricity, without any electric meter at all. So it's unfavorably faulty, and then it's a very, it's a gruesome attack to these villages. So I would like to, address to the Honourable Minister, to you, sir, kindly take this matter very seriously because it is very serious. Why there is no electricity, but yet they are getting the electricity bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Would you kindly repeat again? No electricity bill, but still billing
Oh,
is going on.
no electricity, but yet they are getting the electricity bill.
Okay. Honorable Minister, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, what honorable member is, I think, most probably mentioning about de-electrified villages which had electricity connection at one point of time, but due to some reasons, sir, this may be in the past, sir, we'll have to re-examine and go into all the details, sir. But for some reason in the past, sir, their damaged transformer probably was not repaired or was left unattended, sir.
Like that, it's not de-electrified, it was not electrified at all. No electrified at all. No, it's not about transformer is damaged or something like that. There is no such electrification still there. No post, no current, no wiring at all.
Okay.
But yet they are getting the bill. I bought these particular questions last term also, and I've been following this one, but yet still they're still getting the bill.
Maybe you should have some patience. Once it is electrified, no billing will be there. Honorable Minister, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, it's a very, very interesting point that the honorable member has brought to the House, sir. And if this village name I've just noted down, sir, Badupara under Gambegri block, sorry.
Gambegri block and Mibonpa, in and around Chilipara area actually, in and around Chilipara area. I could not name, I forgot the names of the villages. Actually, 2-3 villages are still there on the Gambegri block. No electricity, but they are getting the bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I bought this one last term also. I was following it up, but since we were busy here and there, when I go to the village, I was shocked again to see that it's not yet electrified again. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Sir, I have taken note of this. It's a very serious matter if people who have not been given electricity connections are being billed. Very serious matter, sir. And I will definitely ask the department to inquire into this, sir.
It's like this. I bought this particular in the last term also. I asked for those officers who are involved in it, because definitely unless and until some officers are involved in it, how can they get the bill? There might be some kind of some kind of intention or some kind of malified intention to get the money through irregularities. Maybe it's some corruption is there. So if minister could check in why the bill is already made without the electricity, unless and until some officers are corrupted, or maybe the contractors have taken the bill from that area, maybe some anomaly or something has happened. That's why I want the minister to assure if some action can be taken against those officers who are involved in that matter.
Sir, we cannot make assumptions here, sir. So, but definitely, sir, we will be examining and investigating into this matter. I want to assure the honourable member. And sir, if this case is found to be true, sir, there may be many reasons why this is happening, sir. We really don't know. But once we get to the root of the matter, sir, definitely, sir, we will take appropriate action also if there is any kind of malpractice, sir.
I also have one issue, sir. This is pertaining to Light Crop Village. So, it is the energy bill pertaining to these BPL, where the consumer was having only one connection, that is one light bulb of 15 watts only. So, about 3 months back, they came to me, about 15 households. Their energy bill ranges between 3,000 to 5,000. Their energy bill is in a month is more than what they earn in a year. So I have written a letter to the MECL indicating clearly the last payment received, the energy bill for a particular period of time, and then when we calculate, it comes about 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, in some cases even 8,000 per month for a consumer with one light bulb, sir. So I have written that to the board. I would request the Honorable Minister to kindly see into it.
Point noted, sir. Point noted.
I think we'll discuss enough on this question. So maybe
sir.
one question, please.
Sir, I will have two important questions because it is very important public sector department, sir. Everybody needs power. Supposing if there is no power now, what will happen to us also, we know. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, in continuing with the query made by the questioner, the Honourable Member for Molai, regarding waiving of bill to the consumers, ministers have got the reply from the Honourable Minister that because of the unhealthy fiscal condition of the MECL, DISCOM, this cannot be done. But I would like to get the clarification from the Honourable Minister. Recently, in the industrial area, the DPC, delayed payment charge, that interest have been waived 100%. If we cannot give such concession to the domestic consumers, why then the corporation has given 100% waive to the DPC in the industrial area? I would like to get the clarification from the Honourable Minister.
Sir, I think Honourable Member did not hear my reply, but DPC has been waived off, sir, for domestic consumers, sir.
No, I am talking about the industrial area. Earlier, it was not done, but recently, 100% waiving of DPC has been done in the industrial area, whether it's a fact.
Yeah. Sir, this is not just about industrial consumers, it's also about domestic consumers, and I don't think we should differentiate, sir.
No, there is difference, Mr. Speaker, sir. In the industrial area, the tariff is more. And compensating the cost of the power by collecting the bills from the industrial area, the commercial setup, we are being able to supply power to the domestic consumers in the subsidized rate. That is the practice. Now, we cannot just compare with the domestic consumers, the poor consumers who are not being able to even pay a bill of 500 rupees. Commercial industries, they are making money out of that. So we cannot just compare. That is not at par. So how we can just making it at par, that domestic consumer and the industrial area. So the quantum of power being consumed by entire state by the domestic consumers is equal to the consumption made by the industries. So it is very, very important, sir. So I would like to get the clarification why they are just clapping together with the domestic consumers and the industries.
Sir, Honourable Member has a habit of putting words in people's mouth. Yesterday we had witnessed he put words in Honourable Home Minister's mouth also. Sir,
Mr. Speaker,
I'm not
sir,
clubbing
Mr.
together.
Speaker, sir, I would like to get clarification. What is the meaning of putting words in others' mouth? Because I am very poor in English. So it may be like something like insulting me. So I would like to know what is the real meaning of that.
Okay, I think.
Can I reply, sir?
You can, yeah.
Sir, sir, can I get an assurance from the Honourable Member he won't disturb me, sir?
Mr. Speaker, sir.
I'm giving you the assurance.
Mr. Speaker, sir. I'd like to draw the attention of the August House through you, Mr. Speaker, sir. It's a point of order under Rule 300 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business and refer to Rule 275. Members, when putting question, obviously the intention is to get the answer from the government. So that insistence by the questioner in the August House should be considered as in the interest of the state. Therefore, I think this unhealthy reaction, I think we should avoid it, which is inconsistent with the dignity and decorum of this August House that we are proud of for part of our legacy. So this is my appeal to you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Minister, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, putting words in someone's mouth, sir, that is something, it is not derogatory, it is not insulting, sir. I'd just like to reiterate here, sir, or iterate here, sir. However, Sir, he does have a habit of doing that, sir. He mentioned about unhealthy fiscal condition of MECL. I did not use those words, sir. But he put those words in my mouth as if they had come out from my mouth. Another example, yesterday itself, we saw in the House how he has a habit of, sir, it's very wrong, sir. It's their right to ask questions, but it is not their right to put words in our mouth and say that we have said that in the course of our reply, sir. Everything is on record, sir. Whatever I have said is on record. It can be played back, sir. But I think I respect the leader of the opposition, sir, but when he says that there has to be healthy atmosphere, sir, which I think should start from the opposition side, sir. However, sir, if this is what's happening, sir, see, respect is mutual, sir. Until and unless I get the respect, sir, how will I, mutually respect them, sir? It doesn't happen like that. It's both ways, sir. Okay, sir. But anyway, the question that was asked by the honorable member regarding clubbing together, again, I would like to place on record, I did not use the word clubbing together. I did not club them together. But anyway, sir, the thing is that DPC, the delayed payment charges, sir, this is a part of a one-time settlement. I think what he is referring to is the one-time settlement offer that was given to industries. And we all know, sir, that the industries have many outstanding dues which have been pending for many, many years, sir. And these outstanding dues were not being given to them. Now we have been, very strict with them. But then we said that this is a practice which has been going on, sir. Many generating companies, be it NEEPCO, be it NTPC, be it NHPC, many of these generating companies which are government PSUs, they also offer consumers like our DISCOMs a one-time settlement in which they waive off DPC, sir, delayed payment charges. And that is what we also want to pass on to our consumers like the industries. Now, when you talk about domestic and you compare them with industries, domestic consumers, their DPC is a very, very small minimal amount, sir. It works out to be. But consumers like industries, their DPC comes out to a large amount. So therefore, we give them an option to avail of that benefit, sir, so that we can at least recover some of the outstanding dues that are pending, which have been pending for many, many long years, sir.